Okay, so how's everybody doing? So I just want to preface this particular episode with the following. I like to build my models up from plastic. I'm not an inkjet paper model builder. I know that they have their place and some people like to use them, but I'm not into cardboard cutouts with inkjet photos. They don't look good in my opinion. They may look good with additional media like taking a photograph of a photograph type enhanced model. There's no real shadows on it, there's no real depth. I just find it just a quick, easy, ready to run way out in a lot of occasions. I know that there's a few modelers out there that have used them very effectively, and I get that, but I would prefer not to if I can help it. At a very, very last resort, I might try a photo backdrop, but for the most part, I'm just a pure modeler in that sense. I'd rather build the actual model, not use paper inkjet copied cutouts. Okay, that's a different genre altogether. That's not traditionally model building to me. But anyway, that's my opinion on it, and each to his own, okay? So for those of you that may or may not know or use other materials, that's fine as well. So just for starters, all these kits that you find at shows, even though we can't go to shows right now, these use kits like Wills and like Model Power. These kind of kits you can find for a few bucks, right? Sometimes even on eBay or whatever for $5, whatever, are invaluable sources for parts, right? Keep all those. You probably have lots of those. You can use those for kit bashing. Here's some of the Wills stuff. Like look at this brick trim here. See that? This is double O, but it's actually works well with HO. Here's some other product by I forget the name of them actually, but you've seen it before, all right? Just look around your hobby shop, your evergreen racks and Plastruck racks. It's probably Plastruck. Here's a piece of plaster casting. All this stuff is helpful, right? I really like this Wills stuff. This is the British double O stuff, which is great for HO. There's roof shingles. It's all part of the scratch building process and kit bashing. Nice brick detail there. Here's another Wills, I believe, with windows already cut out. This is really nice stuff by Wills. Nice rough cut stone, and there's plaster. Different shale type rockery there and stuff. It's really nice stuff. All works good for the historical military modelers as well, right? Here's just a sampling of some of the trim, right? This is a little, I think, scale. That might be O scale 4x4, but which is just 8x8 in HO, right? There's some right angle. Check your kiosk, your evergreen kiosk at your local hobby store, and bring your photos with you. And then you can match up product. Here's metal siding. Tells you the thickness and so on there. But if you take a photo that you want to model, like these guys are not going to say HO scale, they're just going to give you a measurement. But you can visually see for yourself. Bring your ruler with you, your little HO scale ruler. Like this. You can see right there where a foot is and so on, all right? You can measure stuff. Here's board and batten. It's about 10 inches wide board and batten, even though they just tell you the spacing there. You get used to those terms after a while if you use it enough. Here's some plain, which I use a lot of. They give you 3 sheets here. This was $8. Probably cheaper down in the States, no doubt. But there's 20 thou thick, which I use a lot of. And this stuff just scribes and snaps, just easy peasy, which I'll show you in the following episode. There's 3 sheets. There's quite a bit there if you're for smaller type buildings. If you use larger, you want to use thicker, right? You can even order extra large sheets of this as well. And here's another company you should have in your kit, Plastruct. For example, they do, you know, like they'll tell you on here like HO scale corrugated siding. These guys are more specific. O scale 148 corrugated siding, which, you know, you don't just have to use it for O scale. It's a little bit different. It's profile all the way through on both, like a little bit very different on both sides. Hard to tell right there from the camera, but. And then here's a sample piece of, this is HO scale corrugated siding, like with the grain elevator type. If you take some PVC pipe, right, you can initially CA that or just weld it on, leave it overnight and tape it, and then you can just wrap this. Okay. You know, you glue it, tape it, right? Do a dry run, slice it there, snap, scribe it off. You can just run a thin piece, a thin strip you can cut from the 20th hour and just run it over it like that. See? That's common for grain elevator, for the ribs to run that way, right? And then, of course, last but not least, save all your offcuts. All of them, all your little detail parts, put them in little boxes so you can have them ready. Because you never know, you know, when something like you're building, you might want to, you know, use something like an offcut, like this little piece of pipe tubing. It can make for a roof vent, right? Save all that stuff, all the little offcuts. Okay, that's just the short and sweet of materials I use. Okay, I forgot to add in the glues or the adhesives. I use this for the most part for 95% of my builds in plastic. This is the proper stuff to use. Okay, there are other companies that make this Tamiya and so on, but I don't like the Tamiya. It stinks too much. I can't stand the powerful odor. This is much more benign. And it's a plastic solvent, and it's made for evergreen plastic like this. For general build, and it sets up really fast. Once you get used to it, there's no going back. A Plastruct, every modeler should have a bottle of this or 2 in their kit. And then of course there's this, which I have a love-hate relationship with, CA. Some modelers have wrongfully grown addicted to this. Let me give you an example. Like if you build them for a museum, like a real museum, and they find out that you use CA, they won't accept the model. They don't want like a mechanical bond adhesive. They want things drilled out and doweled. They want everything dry fit with like an epoxy or a type of solvent or solder, metal to metal. CA cracks and breaks when it gets old. I mean, it has this place in models, right? For metal to plastic, wood to plastic, but you can use epoxy for that too. I use it when I'm in a pinch, but it has no shear strength, eh? Like it has no, like it has this kind of strength. If you pull, like if you glue 2 ends together and pull, it has that kind of strength, but it has none of this. It'll just break, it doesn't matter. Whereas with this, if you do that, it'll probably stay together, because it welds the plastic. Okay, so Plastruct plastic weld is what I use, and predominantly Plastruct and evergreen plastic. So if you want to follow along and build what I'm going to build, I just want to encourage you to get this plastic weld and the evergreen styrene plastic or Plastruct. Okay, thanks for watching and have a great day.